Hey mama, greetings, greetings, greetings. Come on in the room. I'm just gonna give a few minutes. Today we will be talking about embracing conflicts with the wisdom of the maiden. So send it to some people, share it. And I'm going to try to pin this comment. There we go. All right. I hope y'all are having an amazing Tuesday. I decided to get on here on this fine Tuesday, go live. Greetings, Botanica. Good to see you here. All right. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. So I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. I don't know if you can hear my music. But this conversation was sparked due to one of my latest coaching sessions, as well as just the energy that has been around me. So I've been having this conversation from different lenses surrounding conflict, and I'm recognizing how the different archetypes are showing up in the ways that we have postured ourselves to handle conflict. So today we're going to talk about it from the maiden standpoint, from the maiden archetype standpoint or perspective. So first and foremost, I would like to just say that conflict is normal. It's absolutely a part of our lives as humans. If you're in a skin suit, no matter how divine you are, if you're in a skin suit and you are building relationships with people, you are going to run into some type of conflict at some point, especially as the relationship begins to grow and develop. And I think sometimes we think that the conflict of a relationship is the crumbling of the relationship, when really it is like the meat and potatoes. It is really what fortifies and, really allows us to build the character and the strength, and like really test the relationship and test ourselves, because conflict is going to happen regardless. But how we respond to that conflict is what speaks, what really determines our character and where we are in our maturity. And so I wanted to speak from the maiden perspective, because in the maiden, like when a maiden archetype is in its alignment, maiden archetype is very explorative. It is the student. It's open. It's expansive. It's curious. However, when the maiden archetype is out of alignment, especially when it comes to conflict, conflict is anxiety inducing. Conflict is scary. And if you are out of alignment, but you resonate with the maiden archetype, this can cause you to run from conflict. This can cause you to shut down. This can cause you to get really anxious around the topic of conflict. You're scared to get into disagreements and discussions. You may go into people pleasing. And it brings this really fizzly, almost like soda, but not in a good way, not in an exciting, but an anxiety inducing way of dealing with conflict. And so on the other end of that, running from the conflict, sometimes a person in a unaligned maiden archetype, they may even rush to apologize because they just want to get it over with without even understanding what this conflict is about, hearing the other person, checking in with the way that they feel. They might just want it's over, so they'll do whatever it takes to end it. Or they might burst out and say things that they don't mean. And it's just because of that nervous energy with dealing with conflict. Like, they don't want to. And so if this resonates with you and you resonate with this maiden archetype, I just want you to know that you are not alone. This is a lot of people's experience in the world. And typically this comes from like growing up in a household where you weren't able to express the full range of healthy emotions, so you had to turn them inward. And another aspect of that is like it plays on your self-esteem. So if conflict comes up, you feel like it's your fault. You might blame yourself for this conflict occurring. And I'm just here to remind you again that conflict is healthy and it's an everyday part of our growth and our experience. And if we allow ourselves to really lean into like the fullness of expanding and womb wisdom, then you will be able to recognize that this is a growing opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to get back into alignment with my aligned maiden energy and get curious, get bubbly, grow and expand from this experience, right? So like I said, this can occur from not being able to speak your truth. Like if you grew up in a household and you weren't able to, like it was explosive, like maybe you speaking your truth or you expressing any emotion that wasn't joy, happiness, or positivity, you know, in turn regarding to maybe an explosive parent or an explosive guardian or sibling. Just the household couldn't really hold the container for you and for your emotions. And so I declare you, I recommend that I challenge you to call your power back and to find your voice. And so some of the things that I would recommend in the face of conflict, when you are facing those difficult ripples that make you want to run and make you want to hide and make you want to people please, to slow down and find your breath, find your rhythm, because typically the breath speeds up, right? When you're nervous, when you're anxious, you're like, oh my God, like this is giving me anxiety. But if you slow down your breathing, bring your awareness to your center, you can slow the mind down and you can find your center. Maybe even place your hands on your womb space and declare that you are centered. And call all of that bubbly, sporadic energy back to you so that you can allow yourself to be grounded in this space, grounded in the face of conflict. And then two, I would encourage you to express your needs as well as your boundaries, right? So like I said, you either sometimes feel the need to run. I'm turning this down because I feel like I'm competing with the music. But you either find yourself in a space where you are running, or you are just trying to have the conversation really quickly because you just want to get it over with. And neither one of those do you a service. Like those are just they're not serving you. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not serving you. So taking the time to express what you need. Like if you need the space to process, you can express that. If you need the space to think about it, if you need the space to decompress, if you need to revisit this topic later when you have more clarity, you have the right to express that. And also, once you've sat with yourself and you're clear on what it is that you need or the message of this conflict, finding your voice and expressing this, what you need. Because in a relationship is a two-way street. And if everything you're doing and all the actions are to please a person, then it's not a relationship. You're holding them prisoner because you're not being your authentic self. You're not allowing them to show up for you. You're not even showing up for you. So finding your voice is really important. And another thing, the last thing that I would recommend is just making sure, taking the time to connect your heart and your womb. Because sometimes when we get on the defensive, when we get afraid, we start to posture ourselves to protect ourselves, you know. And when we start to close our hearts and posture ourselves to protect ourselves, we don't allow the channels to flow freely. And so you end up holding a lot of tension in your pelvic floor bowl, a lot of tension in the womb space. And so taking a moment to maybe even place your hands, one hand on your heart, one hand on your womb, and finding the breath, finding the opening between the heart and the womb space allows the processing of and digesting of what's happening with your emotions, with the experience, because the belly area, our abdominal area, is not just about digesting food, it's about digesting life. And when we stop breathing, or when we start to breathe shallow, we don't send the breath all the way down. And so the first thing that loses its function, its proper function, because we go into that fight or flight, is our digestive system, you know. And so as we continue to cultivate the breath down into the belly, between the heart and the womb, we allow ourselves to digest the situation so that we can see it clearly for what it is. And so that we can expand and grow and really be stepping into our power as we reclaim our ability to stand within our center and within our power in the midst of conflict. So if you resonate with the maiden energy, I am here to support you. I have a 6-week coaching program. It is called Radiant Recovery. And if you feel like this is something that resonates with you and that you're ready to do deeper work to really reclaim your voice and reclaim your power as a maiden, or if you don't even know if you're a maiden, but this kind of resonate, but you want to take the quiz to see, click the link in my bio to take the womb archetype quiz. And from there, you'll receive all of the tools and information to move forward if you so choose to move forward with coaching. Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to working with you. So enjoy the rest of your Tuesday and tune back in tomorrow to learn more about how to handle conflict and what the mother archetype has to say about the way that we move through our trials, our obstacles, and our conflicts and relationships. Until next time, peace and love. Mwah.